we're going to go live. I have to go back here immediately and hit this. Good evening, everybody, and by the quirk of absolute professionalism, I think we've managed to go live at exactly 6 o'clock. I hope. Well, I hope we're not talking to ourselves.
I think they're all watching ads.
You think they're watching? They're all watching ads. Then it's not watching us. Let's go over to the tube of you here and see how we're looking. Well, no, I see people's watching us. So we see Gilda and Sparky and Sarah. So
it's
hi guys.
Romper Room now. Come on. Never mind. He doesn't know about Romper Room.
Somebody explain that to me. I know
Romper
what's going
Room,
on.
there was a lady with a mirror, and she used to call out all the kids' names that she could see in the mirror that we're watching.
How would you see them in the mirror if they're watching on the TV?
See, where's your spirit of adventure?
It's the magic of television. No, we hear you. No, we hear you. Is that no, we hear you, or no, we hear you?
All right. So
anyway, hello everybody.
Hello everybody.
Welcome.
Do we have any questions for our cards today?
We can witcher on and tell people how it works while people are sort of gathering, because it's only been a few seconds that we've actually been live.
But if they do have questions, I like to get them down so I don't miss out.
All right then. Well,
but anyway, I will watch the typing.
My dearly beloved is in charge of organising stuff, because I don't organise. I try, and sometimes it goes very strange and weird and wonderful. So let's try and explain how everything works, so you guys know. If you've just joined us or joining us for the first time, or if you're scrolling back and however it's working your end. So Lisa and I are here tonight. We're doing readings as a give back. We like to do that to our community. Lisa's been reading more than 30 years, and I've been doing 20 something, I think, at this point. We're happy to do one-card readings for you. So we'll put a card in rotation and just do that. No charge for that at all. It's all wonderful and fun and exciting and great and wondrous. Now then, if, however, you're one of these people who would like to have either a more detailed reading, or you would like to jump to the top of the queue, because we do that too, if you're in a rush and all that fun stuff, then throw us a super chat. Doesn't matter how much it's for. It could be anything. $2, $200, who cares? It's whatever floats your boat, and it all goes to a good cause, which is wonderful. So please just that's us.
Okay.
We're here and we're wonderful, and I see people, whilst I've been wittering on, I see people are gathering. So
Wendy, I'm so glad you're feeling up to watching. That's great.
Oh, hi Wendy. Oh yeah.
And Mike, I have your question, and Gilda, I have that you want a general. And I would also like to start tonight by saying that Mercury has gotten out of the shadow.
This should mean that things should move easier.
Communication should be a lot easier, and I think we could probably attest to that, because we had a day of Zooming. Anton and I have each had thank you, Gilda.
Thank you, Gilda.
Anton and I have each had a reading today with Michael Pendragon. He's a famous witch from Salem who's an astrologer, and because Anton is just finishing his Saturn return and I'm just starting mine, we decided we'd have an outside person look at that for us. So,
do you know we've talked so much today?
You
can tell we're both.
We also had a really wonderful meeting with the artist who's drawing our tarot deck for us. That we had.
He's several time zones away, so that's always fun.
Another Zoom meeting with a friend, and now here we are, and it's already 6 o'clock, but that's wonderful.
I'm going to be talking for yet another 2 hours.
So Gilda gets 3 cards.
Well, Gilda's just awesome.
I have picked
Gilda.
number 1.
Oh, so I shall pick number 2, and I shall place it alongside your number 1.
And then I have to find a 3. I think it's this one hiding.
Isn't it jolly exciting, isn't it?
So number 1.
What's it's a fox with a headband, a karate fox.
It's a karate fox.
Well, that's
number 1. Number 2.
Fish boy.
Number 3.
Fish boy, King of Cups, and
so
interesting.
What I'd like to first note about the 3 cards, Gilda, is that they're all court cards, and this kind of indicates a lot of people being around you. So I think over the next couple of weeks, I don't know if you were looking for a job, but I feel like there might be an interview and a job offer. I think that there's going to be a friend that maybe you haven't seen in a long time because of COVID that you're able to hook up with.
Oh,
I think that that there is like a reawakening of your social life, and you might even do something radical, like buy tickets to a concert or something that you used to love doing, but since children and COVID, you haven't really had the opportunity. But I think there'll be a babysitter. They're like, no worries. And I think you're starting to kind of open up again, even though, like we had said before, there is going to be this little bit of getting over the anxiety of trusting that everybody's not the enemy again and getting out there.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of opportunities regarding socializing. So I think make the best of it.
All right. And number 1 was Fish Boy?
Yeah.
No. King of Cups. All right. So mine's similar but different, but that's what you get.
But that's what you get.
That's what you get. He pays your money, he takes your choice, and gets confused sometimes. So Fish Boy here, we just moved into Pisces, and it's interesting. I don't know if you were on the.
I think she was. Neptune and Jupiter are both in
on
Pisces.
11sies.
Yeah.
If you were watching on 11sies, we did talk about the energies, but really this is a tremendously creative time that we're moving into. So kudos to you. You know, if you need to pick up your paintbrushes or get your easel out or your drawing pad or whatever your thing is, you know, whatever your art is, now would be a good time to really focus on that. And it might be anything. It could be you know, poetry, song, music, whatever. Whatever your art is unique to you. But I think it's really important that because your creativity is it's like an incredible. I don't want to say catharsis, but it can be sometimes, especially in the case of music. If you've got so much like bundled up emotion and stuff like that, it's a great way to release it, not necessarily to ground it out, but to really speak the truth of it, but without sort of laying yourself bare, you know, as I think you know where I'm going with this or with that. This chappie here does concern me a little bit. There's still an element of over-promising, under-delivering, gaslighting.
Trying to snow you a little bit.
Somebody with a little too much static, you know. So I think this focusing on this is going to make this largely irrelevant, and I think that's hugely important. And this is fantastic. I think. Lisa's saying opportunity for a job, but I see this you moving into very much like being able to nurture and being able to, I think, probably give your kids the experiences you're really wanting to be giving them, you know, kind of thing, and going places and seeing things and just sucking up the incredible wonderfulness of the landscape around you. I mean, this bunny is fantastic. This really is speaking strongly of the promise of the coming spring to me. And this, you know, I think you're going to start doing all right financially. I really feel it somehow. Mm-hmm. Whether it's like you wind up with a side hustle from your creative endeavors or whatever.
Yeah, there's something good in the air.
There's something good in the air. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it involves nurture. It involves, you know, just take this with an extraordinarily large pinch of salt and really focus on your creativity. And I think, Gilda, it's exciting times ahead. Positive times.
All right.
They're good cards.
So Sparky's up next, but I just want to see if Sarah has a question.
All right.
Because she just said hey and hey back, but if you have a question and you want a card, let us know. I did get your question, Mike. All right, so Sparky wants to know love over the next 2 weeks. A 1?
Oh, you went first, but it doesn't matter.
Well.
It doesn't matter. You can do it again. I'll let you do it. You can go first again.
Oh.
Just how about it?
Well, these are certainly interesting. This is my life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans card.
Yes.
But then you have celebration and soulmates. So I'm going to say that it's really important over these next couple of weeks that you don't hold your past against your future.
Yes.
Right? If there was something that really set you back or hurt you that another person said or did, and it really is still kind of processing in your emotions, I'm not saying just wipe it away and forget it, but I'm saying try not to compare the past to the future. Take the lesson from it, especially if it's a different person, right? You don't want to hold somebody else's bad deed against the next person. So really work on what I'll call like your little emotional demons, or the things that hold you back from sharing the parts of you that you'd really love to share. And this looks like the possibility of meeting somebody at a party, or finding somebody new through some sort of social activity, or renewing a relationship through social activity. And this is a really strong partnership. So I think this is very, very positive. The next couple of weeks, I think you have a lot of opportunity to be really close with someone. And the challenge for you will be to get past some past hurts to do that.
All righty. Let me just say this much: you're a Scorpio, aren't you? If I recall. Listen, holding on to a hot rock, expecting somebody else to get burned, doesn't work. I know you've been through the mill. I know you've been betrayed. I understand that, and I know it cuts very, very deeply. But as Lisa says, there is nothing to be gained from dragging the past hurts into the future. It is important that you learn to talk this out, but not necessarily with your intimate partner at this point. Later, I think, you're going to have opportunity to express as the trust grows between you, and I'm going to say as it grows, because I'm hanging on to this card. It's really, really important. But with your close friends, probably female friends, I want to say at this point, time to have like a glass of wine and just do the Sex and the City kind of get it out there, voice it, and in trusted company. And I think a fresh perspective from somebody you respect outside of yourself is going to help you perhaps not internalize so much or always looking for the other shoe to drop, because I think I sense that with you, that it's like, I start to get suspicious when things are going too well. You're expecting the other shoe to drop.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Absolutely. But don't become the self-fulfilling prophecy. You know what I'm saying? So really, really go ahead and talk this out. Now, this is a cracking good card.
It's a lovely card.
If you are asking for a card about relationships, there isn't a better one in the deck. There isn't. This is a mutually supportive, mutually healing relationship where each partner puts the needs of the other before them. And it's doing that produces that long term,
Trust.
Exactly, trust in everything. And this thing, do I make her happy? Does she make me happy? Do I make her happy is a really good question. For you, this is so important. It's really is when you factor in somebody else's needs into a relationship, and it's not all about me, and me, because that can be problematical, and I don't think you like that. Understand that. But what I'm saying is, this is the antithesis of this. This is a wonderful, mutually healing relationship. And You're asking how it's going. It's good. Just don't become that self-fulfilling prophecy. And oh my God's when the other shoe gonna drop.
All right.
See what I'm saying there?
You're up with a 1 card for Sarah.
All right, Sarah. Did we get anything other than hay?
General. Yep, just general.
All right. Well, we'll see what meat we can throw on your hay.
Hi.
Hi.
What's happening?
Twice. Please make a note, those people out there in viewerland. Certain cards come up repeatedly, and you will notice my lovely assistant and beautiful bride has just actually shuffled these cards. And lo and behold, this is what I extracted.
We're theming.
So there's always this theme that goes on here, and this is very much about nourishment, not punishment, growth through nurture, and material gain, and moving into a time of abundance and fecundity. If I can even say that in English, I'm sorry, breaking the teeth in for a friend. This card does not suck. So you're moving towards living better days. Let's put it that way. What you define as better, I think, is a very subjective thing. But I don't think you can be so worried about money, and I don't think you're going to be so worried. Yeah, you're focused on that, but I think it's the love in you that's going to generate that foundation, that wealth, for want of a better word.
All right. So I'm up. Mike wanted to know about his finances.
Hey, Mike.
I feel like I'm going to shuffle again. See back there.
Oh gosh, we've got a few people watching us, guys. If you haven't just hit that like button yet, would you do us a favor and do that? And would you also share this
JJ,
thing?
how this works is we answer the people in the order that they've asked a question. So I did write down for you pre-board exams, but I'm thinking that's your question by trying to read what you wrote. So we'll get to you, but Mike and Victoria are ahead of you. So this is Mike's financial question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is...
Excuse me, I'm so
The
sorry.
Queen of Swords talks about attention to detail. So I see it as a good card because for me, this is my Virgo card. I know that's odd for readers, but this is what I use it for, which would be 6th house, which is work and service to others. And it's also attention to detail. So I think 2 things are happening. I think that you're kind of going over your budget and kind of assessing how things have changed, or how you want to recoup losses. Maybe you haven't really been yourself lately and you haven't had a lot of income stream because you haven't really been able to get back on top of your game. But this card says you are going to get there. You're going to be able to juggle the balls again. You're going to be able to be on top of things. You're going to be able to have attention to detail. You're going to be able to kind of cut through the crap. So are you an accountant? Or maybe you're just doing your own personal summing up. I don't know. But I see it as very positive. And I do think that there will be some sort of work that pays very well that may have to do with a job that has attention to detail, like editing or bookkeeping or something, personal assistant, something like that. But I do see it as very positive, and I think you're going to be back on your game soon.
Nice.
My question is, can I get the same paper, same questions?
Who we got? Is that him?
That's Mike, and now you're up for Victoria, who wants a general.
Because I'll do JJ if you want. Whatever.
Well, JJ isn't up next. Victoria is
Victoria
first.
Okay.
Victoria is first with a general.
No question, just general.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a look and see what we get for Victoria. Oh, well, doesn't suck. I think, Victoria, you're being asked to get your ass out of your comfort zone a little
But
bit.
it's a good card.
But it's a bloody good card if you're prepared to do that. You know, there is this adage, isn't there? Nothing ventured, nothing gained, faint heart never won fair lady, etc., etc., etc. Name the cliche, you know? But really, this is it. I mean, And I love this card. This you could argue whether these are lilies. I tend to see them as foxgloves, but that's maybe just me in my little crazy world. But they do look like foxgloves. They really do. And foxglove is a plant. I think the Latin name for it is digitalis, from which they produce digoxin, which is a heart tonic. So it's about having hoil. It's about having heart. To actually get out of this really comfortable zone that you've got, and through that hole in the hedge there, through that that gateway, and you can see there's no path there, and that kind of indicates something to me. It indicates that you're going to be blazing your own trail here. So innovation, creativity, definitely, but what a prize for that. There is a climb involved, all right? So you're going to need your mettle. You're going to need to really talk to yourself and stay the course, not give up halfway through, because the view when you get to the top is going to be incredible. And I see this very much as an ascension for you in terms of social station, in terms of financial reward, but it does necessitate you actually taking your butt and getting it out and getting it done. So if you're up for it, it's going to work out really well. And if you want to know when, now. Like, right, chuffing now.
Okay. So, Quirky Giraffe, yes, you just have to let us know what your question is.
What a cool name.
All right. So
Quirky Giraffe.
So JJ, it is your turn now.
Yay.
So what I'm going to say now is going to be your turn. So I was talking to Mike about the accountant, but that's cool. If you have that for your future, that's good. So I'm still trying to understand the question. Can I get the same paper, same questions? So I'm thinking what you're trying to say is, in the mail came this sample of what the exam might be. And now you want to know, is that going to be the actual exam? I think that's where we're at.
I think you've got a right read of his question there. That's what right. I would say.
I'm going to say that there will be enough identical material that you could score in the high 90s. So there are going to be maybe one or two questions that are out of left field that covered material from the beginning of your course that may not be in that exam paper that you saw in the mail today. And I think that they have to do that just to make sure that nobody gets it handed to them, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So think back to the beginning of the instruction where there were a couple of things that might have been important that you wrote down and you might have neglected that you notice aren't in that paper that came in the mail. And I think you'll do really, really well.
And practical advice from somebody who's taken a few tests in my time: don't be in a rush. You've got more time than you think you've got. Read the bloody questions, okay? Read them thoroughly and make sure you understand them. I think you know your subject well enough, and if you've got your concepts down, you're going to be absolutely fine. That card does not suck, not at all. But no, that snail on that card is yelling out the need to just take your time. Don't rush at this. You've got a luxury of way more time than you actually need to do this. So,
But I do see like one or two
Yeah, there's something going to come out of left field. Something you haven't seen yet, that hooded, falcon kind of thing. But you, so long as you've got, your subject matter there, you're golden. You've got this. Take your time, though. Don't rush at it.
Hi, John. I'm still curious to know if you're going to stay or go.
Should I stay or should I? No.
All right. So it's your turn for Quirky Giraffe. Quirky Giraffe says they're feeling a little bit of heavy energy right now, and they'd like a message from their higher self or their spirit guides to get things moving. Can you give them
a shuffle for me, sweetie?
Sure.
Because I'm
Crap at shuffle?
What a great name, Quirky Giraffe. It just made me smile. That's it. Quirky Giraffe. Why not? What a cool name. Yeah. Me, I'm just Anton. Oh, hey, your higher self. Now, this is really interesting. Although this is indicative, perhaps, of relationships, we're talking
really.
Exactly. I'm going to give her the bloody card, actually.
No, but things are not as they appear always.
Things are not always as they seem. No, as I said, although initially this may appear to be about relationships, in this instance, it's about your relationship, particularly with your relationship with, what have we here? The tree of knowledge and the tree of life. So it's for you, this is learning how to balance, oh God, for the second time today, we're going into epistemology. And I don't know why. The knowledge of knowledge itself, you know, how we know, you know. And I sense you're quite an old soul. I don't know where that's coming from, but I said, oh, thank you so much. We're getting super chatted. I sense you're quite an old soul. So, so listen to that innate wisdom that lies within. And stop second guessing yourself so much, and please stop, quirky giraffe, beating up on yourself. There is nothing to be gained from that.
This is Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing.
So we need to heal a relationship. And I think the biggest relationship is, you know, your sense of self-worth is what I really feel that's there. I mean, I could probably, if I knew you, I could introduce you to people who knew you, say, oh my God, quirky giraffe or whatever your name is. What an incredible individual, you know, they're so nice at this, or they're so good at this, or they're so whatever. You just need to see that bit for yourself, because I think you get stuck with, you know, we've got this innate curiosity, you know, we want to know what's going on. We want to know everything there. And then we've got this like almost imposter syndrome here. Why do I deserve to be that? And so I get this internal conflict with yourself. And, you know, which wolf wins? Well, it depends which one you feed. So I think really you want to spend a little time really trying to improve your innate sense of self-worth. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Am I making any bloody sense at all?
All right, so he says there's Raphael, they're healing a lot. It's stuff from past life in Egypt.
It may well be. It may well be, but
yeah.
Well,
I would say
about...
because you got this card that studies something to do with the serpent and what the serpent means in Egypt, and it will lead you to healing. All right. So,
thank you guys for the super chats.
Yes.
It's lovely.
Now,
all right, now we've
Sarah,
got to jump backwards.
Sarah, we did a reading for you without a question, but now that you have given a super chat,
fire away, ask
please
a question.
type your question so we can each do your answer. And then Anne-Marie will now jump to the next position, and then it'll be Sway Sway. All right? So...
is that a real name?
Anna-Marie, well, that's what it says, Sway Sway. Anna-Marie, do you have a question?
Yes. If not, just hello. That was a cracking program in the UK. Hello. That's general. All right, go for it. General questions. Just wants to know what she needs to know. Do.
All right, so this is Anna-Marie General. Ooh, one.
This one, I think.
They're jumping around.
I don't know. I'm just feeling that.
There we go.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Anna-Marie General. One. Ooh, 10 of Wands. 7 of Swords.
Yes, we're
Queen of
taking
Cups.
questions. Tony, type it in. Okay.
All right, so this to me, this on the face of it initially looks like, oh bloody hell, here we go again. You know, what a burden. Why do I have so much? Why can't things be easy? Why have I got to break my back doing this and carrying this and lifting so much whatever? Hang on a minute, hold on. Slight attitudinal realignment for you here, Anna-Marie. Look at what you can do. Okay, you've got this. You're not on a heap in the floor covered by 10 wands. You've got them. Yeah, there's graft here. There is graft. But there's graft you can do. You know, you're still standing and you've got it. You're doing it. So I think your focus needs to change from, you know, why does things have to be so difficult to spotting the little victories, and if you find a victory in everything that you do, if you find a victory, if you can, like before you go to bed at night, just take a bit of paper and write down something you feel good about yourself on that day. I did this, and it needs to be about you, and it can be anything you like. I made some kick-ass cookies, I made my grandkids laugh so much they nose their coffee, whatever, it doesn't really matter so long as it's something positive to look at. And then rather than thrashing around at night, you're going to look at this before you go to sleep. You're going to go to sleep with a positive thought in your head. And if you wake up in the night not sleeping too well, take a look at that. It'll make you giggle or whatever, and you'll refocus back on that again. And when you wake up in the morning, look at that good note, and it sets you up. So focus on your victories and what you can do, all right? Because... and Lisa said earlier, well, this card is this is what happens when you're making other plans. This card is, I see stuff has been stolen from you. And I think what's being stolen from you is, it's almost like time at the moment has been stolen from you, if that makes sense. And you can get all hung up on that, and you can get hung up on, I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that and blah, 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 and it didn't work out. That's the past. There's bugger all you can do about it, all right? You're still standing, okay? You've got this. Ha-ha! Scorpio time. Scorpio time is really, I think this indicates to me that there needs to be that wonderful... If I had to describe Scorpio, it's the fixed water sign, and Scorpio's like the sea. You will not know what lies beneath it, but the sea can be the most romantic, idyllic, emotionally beautiful, restorative place to be, or it can be a wild storm that can sweep you away. So again, this is about learning to balance your emotions, if you will. And I think if we can bring your emotions into check, if you can perhaps emotionally detach from what you perceive to be, something stolen from you, and you're not upset and mad about it, and you don't see a burden, but you see, look, I can do this. I think we're actually starting to make very practical steps on the road to full and complete healing, because I believe this is largely health related.
Oh, of course, I'm going to give a whole different reading because that's the way life is.
But there you go.
But you can take them both. We've often said that if you came in for a psychic fair, which, by the way, Saturday is psychic fair. Readings are $10 for 10 minutes.
True. Really true.
If you came in for psychic fair and you decided you were going to see each different reader for 10 minutes, you would get a little different flavor, even if you had the same cards. Yeah, I saw that. She said she did bake cookies.
So it's all about the cookies then.
All right.
Just throw them in the bin.
What I'm going to say is, sometimes no matter how much we love our family, our children, and the people that we feel responsible for, sometimes no matter how much we care and love them, sometimes they can be a little bit of a frustration source or a burden, or we feel like we are carrying the responsibility of others, Like we worry about this kid and we worry about that kid and we worry about our parents. And, there's all these things that really, yes, in some ways we are responsible, but I think this card is saying it's time to try to give that responsibility back to the person who really should be carrying this stick, right? I know you had said something about your son and his business, and of course you want to support him, but he needs to run that business, not give you another stick to carry, right? So there's that. Then I do feel like you are going to win something. Now, Anton is saying it's health related, so it may be an insurance claim. There's like something that's going to get paid that you shouldn't have had to pay. There's a relief of a burden financially.
Cool.
And this, I think, has to do with learning that age and treachery will always win over youth and skill.
It's the second time we've said that today.
So use what you know and what you've found out, whatever goods you've got, to get ahead. And I think that that's what I'm going to say.
Gotta love it.
All
Gotta
right.
love it, love it, love it.
So now, Blaze, Tony Blaze, I got your question. Kay, I have your question. John, I think, just popped in and out. I'm not sure he's still here or has a question because he didn't answer.
He bravely ran away.
But next is going to be Sarah because she super chatted, and then it'll be Tony, and then Kay.
All right then.
So Sarah said, whatever energy comes through, whatever is meant
All right.
for her. And you can scroll back because we did give you a 1 card, but
At this point, I can't remember. My head's been so many places today, I can't even remember my own
1.
name. All right. Well, we'll go next door to it.
3.
And you can go
All
foist.
right.
Foist.
So this is Sarah. All right.
Thank you for the super chat, Sarah.
Yes, thank you for the super chat. The outcome card is a really, really good card, the 4 of Wands. This is like a union or a coming together, a working partnership, a treaty, a contract, and one that will last a very long time. I have a couple things I want to say. First thing I want to say about these 2 cards is I think you're trying to work with someone else and really, really help them to understand. Oh, I see John is there.
John is asking the question.
I will make sure we get to you next then. Because Sarah would have went first anyway because
She super chatted.
All right. There's someone that you're working with to try to help them get a handle on things. You know, if someone is working through pain management, or someone has been working with some kind of addiction, or someone hasn't really been able to see their potential and work up to their potential, I think you're really, really fighting in their corner. And you're trying to get them to recognize their worth. I don't think this is you as the person with the addiction or who doesn't recognize their worth. I think this is someone that you want to be in a relationship with or have some sort of partnership with, but haven't quite gotten through this little thing that holds you back because you don't really want to put all your time and effort and energy into somebody who may not be able to come through this. But I see this outcome card as saying it is okay, that they will make a commitment, that they will fulfill a contract, and that you will be pleased with the outcome. So that's my reading for those cards.
I don't know. I feel this is something to largely. This was the last one we pulled, right?
That's the last one. Yeah.
So yeah. If this is related to relationships, then I understand your trepidation a little bit. It's interesting that these 2 cards, we got a 5 and a 4. Oh, thank you. Somebody must have sent us a super chat. I see something flashing.
John. Okay. Well, John, you're next anyway.
So you can read this card as a struggle and as somebody winning a hollow victory over you. But I actually think there's a slightly different spin on this one for you, Sarah. I think this is you in a very supportive, quiet, unsung hero kind of way. I think one of your party pieces, one of your strengths, what you're really, really good at is like dusting everybody else down. You know, when people have given up, and these people have obviously given up, they've capitulated, they've dropped their swords,
left,
you know, they're not interested in engaging anymore, it's all too much trouble, and you know, they're despondent. Here comes you picking up everything, sorting everything out, sitting people down, dusting them off, giving them a cup of tea, going, all right then, well, let's sort this out, you know. So this is good. However, you're kind of crap at taking that advice when it's offered to you, being blunt about it. It's like, I want to be master of my own domain here, and I get this, and I understand, there's this olive branch or whatever being offered towards me, but, grizzle, grizzle, grizzle kind of thing. This is okay. I see this. Here's the key, and this is a wonderful bloody card when you really dig into it, because although there's obviously a union and a partnership going on here, notice that they are looking in opposite directions. And I think this is one of the keys about being a really good partnership, where, the partners don't try and subsume or assimilate the others, that you remain separate but choose to be together, that you remain your own person, that you remain very much, paddle in your own canoe kind of thing. And, there's this cause for celebration here. So it's when individuals come together, they don't coalesce, they don't become one being. And so remember that. Remember to maintain yourself. It's interesting, we've got this sort of conflab and discussion going on here. And I love this bridge. This bridge has come up again. And this, to me, again, there's such wisdom there in Bran, Avor ben byd bont. He who would be a leader must first be a bridge. So I think there is some bridging necessary. I think there is some, reconciliation necessary. But I think a lot of it is really just getting comfortable with how you feel, if that makes sense to you. Hope it does.
All right.
I hope I'm making sense. I'm just probably wittering on like a mad thing.
Okay, so we have John, then Tony, then Kay, then Abdel. So that's the order we're going in.
Yes,
for now.
yes. If you're in a mad rush and can't wait, you can always super chat.
Well, we're doing John right now.
Who has super chatted, so we're doing him. You can't get in front of John. No.
All right.
All right then.
You pick first this time.
All right. What, John has a question?
Yes. Should he go for that work promotion or not?
Okay.
1, 2.
I go first?
Yep. Oh, wow. This really is the valley of indecision.
Oh my God! Oh, I love it. So this is the Minor Arcana Justice card. This is the first one we pulled out for
weighing
that.
it out. Weighing
All right.
it out. Yeah.
So where I come from, 6 divides evenly by 2. This is definitely not the case going on here. I mean, this person's getting 4 straight off. This person may not be getting anything. I noticed a little red tab sticking out the poly. Are we talking about staff college? Do you have that over here?
No, he's talking about work where he would have to go abroad for a while.
Okay, but is it a staff position? I think you know what I mean by that, because I know the field you're in, all right? So I don't know whether it would be like that kind of, yeah. I understand you like where you are. I get that a lot. And so there's, this is good. Because there's, it's going to add to your pension at the end of the day, and it's worthwhile having. I mean, it certainly is. And I think you could do it. You know you can do it. You know that you know that they know you can do it. You know that you would get the promotion if you put your name forward to it, but you don't know if you want to do it. That's the problem. And I don't know if I just think you are totally undecided, my friend.
Well, all 3 of these cards are.
This is very, you see, like, there's part of this here, this like bouquet being offered to you, in almost like in recognition. But here you are, never mind the gender here, all right. Here we are looking on, well, this would mean the loss of something. And this walking, and that which I'm comfortable of. So, I don't know, but we've got this, I don't know, if there's something to do with Scotland, there's maybe really contemplate that, because I'm seeing the cross of St. Andrew here, which really indicates sort of Scotland to me or whatever. And I don't know, you obviously know that, but I don't know, mate, what do you want? You know, what do you really want? You know, talk about it with those closest to you.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Yeah.
All right. This was the first card. Mm-hmm. So this is trying to decide how you want to make your money, right? You can see this is the Six of Pentacles. Part of you, you know, is saying to yourself, well, you know, if I was like 20 years younger, I'd jump at this and I, you know, certainly would do this to further my career and it would be a wonderful feather in my cap.
He wouldn't be being offered this 20 years ago.
No, but I'm just saying, this is the thought process now.
Right. Got you.
The other side of your head is saying, what? I want to retire. I want things to be easier. But this would be a really cool adventure. And I would get up the tier for my pension.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm still up for it. But do I really want to do this? And I'm not really up for being separated from my family. All these, you know, I get there's like this ton of stuff going through your mind. I'm wondering if you would have to go alone the whole time, or if you could take Shelley with you for part of it. Because this card is about old souls and past lives and connecting to information. And I kind of see wherever it is that you're going, you've kind of always known you had a connection there. Now, Anton mentioned Scotland, but I do think it's abroad for sure. And I do think that when you touch that soil, a lot of questions will be answered for you. And I know now I'm speaking in a tense that seems like you're going to go. But this would indicate that you're still mulling over all of the details.
Yes. No. Yes. No.
Yeah. I kind of guessing that you have to make a choice within about 6 weeks or so.
Maybe even sooner.
I think you just have to decide if the money is worth the effort, right? It's because it's a big deal. It's a big step. It's a lot more responsibility, but you're absolutely up for that. And I think part of you would really love to have that responsibility. You know, so I think bring it to the bottom line. This isn't about emotional stuff. It isn't about, it's just about the money. Is the money worth your time? You know, is it enough more money for the more responsibility, right? Bring it down to the bottom line. And then, you know, it could be a great adventure for you guys.
Well, it might be, actually. I think it might be a great adventure. Yeah, I do sense there would be this if we don't, we're going to regret that we never did.
No, I'm going to say that they'll be happy either way. I think if you go, you'll be really happy. And I think if you stay, you'll be really happy. So you can't lose.
I concur. And I think you can think this until the ends of the earth. But, you know, what do you want to do? You know, what do you want to do? And I think that's basically what it comes down to.
All right. So now one card for Tony.
Hello, Tony.
Tony says, what does Derek want to communicate to me?
Oh, my gosh.
One card, I know.
Well, let's see. Derek, what do you want to tell Tony?
So, Iona, Violet, and Ruth Ann, ask your questions if you have one. What does Derek want to say? I think he doesn't talk well. He doesn't express his emotions.
We're talking a very wounded heart here, and this is I sense this is why you're angst. And the problem is sometimes when somebody is that deeply entrenched in something that has been honestly feel like they've been run through the heart, you know, that they feel so desperately betrayed and cut to the core, literally core heart. It's very difficult for them to be able to express that, and you know, because it's especially for a guy, and I'm going to take a wild guess and say that Derek is a guy, you know, because I don't think I've ever heard.
Derek does sound like a boy's
name.
name.
Don't believe I've ever heard somebody who identifies as female called Derek, but you know, I live and learn by the day.
Yeah.
So, but especially for, you know, the classic male, it's very difficult to admit to expose a weakness, to admit to being weak, especially when it comes to matters of the heart.
I sense an anger under the.
And this can lead to deep-seated resentment and overt hostility towards people who would dare to even, you know, try to get to the heart of the matter, to the core of the situation. And these words are not coming out by accident, all right? There's a lot of heart healing being necessary, and sometimes it's just necessary just to hold space for somebody, and just, you know, if you've just got to sit there and look at the waves lap against the shore or whatever with a beer in your hands, you know, and say nothing. Sometimes that's all that is necessary. Just to know that you're not alone. I'm here with you, but you know, if you want to open up and you want to talk, I'm going to listen, but I'm not going to try and force my way into, because I think you're gonna pour boiling coals onto your head, or burning coals, or whatever.
Right,
I think
there's some
they're
sort of heartache.
deeply hurt here, deeply hurt, and I think it's very hard for them to communicate
But
that.
that doesn't necessarily mean that you hurt them.
No, I don't think
so. It means
so.
that they are hurt.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think it's something that goes deeper than that. You'll see. You'll see. All right. Hopefully that's some help. We got a lot of people chiming in tonight.
All
this
right.
is lovely.
So what I wanted to say, Sarah was saying this is the second time she's gotten a message about someone with an addiction, and she's unsure of who that could be.
Interesting.
Sometimes addictions aren't what we think they are.
Right.
So, like, you know, I said someone who has maybe an alcohol thing or something like that, but an addiction can be to a prescribed medication that we accidentally get addicted to. And you could also have a personality trait that, you know, you could have OCG, obsessive compulsive gifts, or an anger management thing. So there's all kinds of different ways to interpret that word addiction. But Sarah, I definitely feel like it's somebody that you would try to counsel to make sure that they were a worthy partner. And I don't mean that to sound like you're a snob. All right. So I'm up next with Kay.
Hey, Kay.
We have Kay, then we have Abdel.
Is it our Kay?
Yes, it is.
Hello, Kay. Long time no see. How you doing? I hope you're doing great. We've missed out on seeing so many people for so long. I do hope we're moving to a place of normalcy.
I do too.
I think sometimes
All right,
the world has gone mad, but I hope we're
Violet
moving.
and Iwana, I have your questions. And Ruth Ann, if you're still there and you want a card, let us know.
If you're watching us and you haven't yet pressed that like button, we would be honoured if you would hit that thumbs up button. We would be especially honoured if you'd care to subscribe to our channel. We're trying to become less of a well-known secret. We have plans for world domination. Well, no, we have plans to try and make the world a better place, and we recognise that being better known is key to that. So this is part of the ulterior motive for our hidden agenda, or hidden agenda for our ulterior motive while we're actually doing this. Giving back and doing these readings.
We miss you too.
So we would love
fellow
it.
Aquarian. You're
My
next.
fellow Aquarians.
He's just talking, and then I'll get to your card. I've got it pulled right here.
So yeah, if you've not subscribed to our channel, we'd love it if you would do that. We'd love for you to share this. We're going to be doing this every Wednesday night. We have 11s every Monday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard. Or Eastern. You know, it will be daylight when it's daylight. But there's that. If you wanted to check that out, we've just launched a new series which we're starting called Tarot Talk, and there'll be a new episode coming along every Tuesday where you can learn about the tarot. There's a couple of episodes up there, so check that out too. We're doing our best to be less of a well-kept secret, and so thank you. I just seen a few likes pop up there. That's wonderful. I love it when we get instant results.
So next is Kay, and then Abdel, and then we'll keep
Kay has
going.
a question. It's you anyway, isn't
It's
it?
me, and it's general.
I'll shut the hell up then.
All right.
Sorry.
the Ace of Swords.
Mm.
So I want you to look closely. I think you have this deck at home. You'll notice that the blade has two different colors, white and blue.
Or blue and white.
So white is about spirituality, and the blue is about healing. You could also see the blue be about creativity and communication, and the white be your connection to spirit. And in general, this card is meant to be about regaining control. So I think that most of the time you are like in charge of yourself, and that you are very capable and able of making very good choices and decisions about your life and the way you're headed and all those kind of things. I just feel like these past 6 months have been so difficult, and feeling kind of like there was so many unknown factors that you felt like you couldn't make a decision, no less the right decision, because there were just too many crazy, odd things. But I think because you have this card that over the next few days, now Mercury is out of the shadow, over the next few days, I think things are going to get back to being real, concise, not confused, and you'll be able to get back in your pattern of making the choices that are best for you with information. You know, so I know like the last thing an Aquarian wants, me included, is to not have enough information to make an educated decision. But I feel like you're going to come back on top of things, and you're going to have the information that you need to regain your control.
How cool is that?
All right. So Abdel is Scorpio.
Hello.
And Abdel says they need some sort of healing energy or information for their mind, like what would be best for their life, for their job. How can they get some peace of mind? What
Righto then, Abdel. Let's go digging. Let's see. Oh, mate. Hey. Do not freak about this card, okay? It says death, all right? But I love this card.
Oh, change
I
and renewal.
love this card. This is totally change and renewal. Now, I'm going to try and bring it a bit closer.
It's actually one of the best cards you could get for this question.
For this question, yes, because this is really dispensing with all that does not serve you and reimagining yourself. Reimagining yourself totally. This is like Abdel 2.0, but I'm going to say it's probably more like Abdel 3.0. I think we've already been through one massive life change, and I think this is now a realization that you can take the sort of the curveballs and the stuff that's come out from left field and what have you, and you can use this very much so. So ostensibly, those on the outside of you aren't going to notice anything different, but you're going to notice an awful lot. I mean, this on this card of what's going on, Le Roi est mort, vive le roi. You know, the king is dead, long live the king. As far as, you know, everybody else is concerned, we've still got a royal family, we've still got a king, you know, we've still got to do our jobs, our 9-to-5s, our whatevers, you know, nothing's changed. For the immediate family here, there's a lot gone on. Obviously, the new king is a little bewildered with what's going on. The widow is obviously quite distraught here. He's obviously had far too many donuts or whatever, or bacon butties, and, you know, that's he's pegged it, he's gone. And here's come, you know, here's the bishop with the old platitudes, and here's death come down on his white charger. Note the white rose, all right? Note the big feather in his cap and all that sort of stuff. There's so much in this card. This is an incredible card if you really want to get into. And we're going to plug Tarot Talk at this point. Check it out. We haven't got to death yet, but when we do, it'll be interesting. But he's come to take the recently departed down to the River Styx here, whereupon he jumps on this ferry and winds up in this incredible world. I don't know if I'm going to try and bring it a bit closer to you. This incredible world, this whole new... you know, whole new beginning with so much promise, the sun rising and all this sort of stuff. So this very much is time to wipe the slate clean, all right? It really is a time for a complete reset. It's also, notice that once you've learned something, once you have that realization, you can no longer have the excuse and go back to being blissfully ignorant anymore. Once you've learnt that, you can't not unlearn it. You can't unlearn it. I'm sorry. You know what I mean. But so this really is a complete. This is for you is an arrival at a place of permanent transformation, which is great if you're looking to heal your mind and take yourself forward into the next phase of your life. This is hugely important. It's okay, all things change. Change is the only constant in life. It really is. So don't get freaked out about having to adapt to change. And sometimes we hold on to stuff that doesn't serve us, and because it's uncomfortable to let it go. It's almost like this blanket we've been dragging around with us, or the old tattered doll or toy or whatever, that we're kind of attached to it, even though it's no bloody good for us. So learning to leave that crap at the lost and found sometimes can be quite traumatic, can be quite unpleasant. It can feel like a death in a way. Letting go of something that really honestly doesn't serve you can feel like a loss, even though it's something that's really good for you. So I think, Abdel, I really feel that you're moving to a much better place. It's just I want you to look forwards and embrace the promise of the new day, the promise of the rising sun and the possibilities in the golden city before you. All right.
I just feel like there's something going on with the possible job opportunity at a museum.
Hey, how about that?
Or a library, or something that has to do with.
He is the librarian.
Something that has to do. I wish you would stop being so flippant.
I'm sorry.
Something that has to do with showing people the importance of history and culture. Right? If you want to chime in and be funny and great, then wonderful, that's great. But please don't derail my thought.
I'm sorry, I'm good at that.
When I'm speaking, if I get taken away, then I might miss something.
I'm sorry.
Important.
I love you.
I know you do, and I love you too. But I don't want you to wreck my train.
No,
I'm old and senile, and I can't.
You are neither. You are neither. Hush yourself.
That was you for Abdel. It's my turn for Ioana, and she said she doesn't want a card, but she'd like me to tell my best life story.
Interesting.
Now,
your bestest life story.
My best life story. Let me tell you, there's some crazy stories in my life. And I know that people are waiting for their cards, so I don't want to be too long. But I think what I'd like to say is the saddest words are what might have been. And many times it is really hard to come out of a dark spot or a heavy spot, right? So I was married to the wrong person for a very long time.
Right there with you.
And I got dumped.
Right there with you.
And now I was a single woman who owned her own business and hadn't been in the dating pool for like 15 years. And I could see that things were getting to be like, I'm kind of liking making what I want for dinner. I'm kind of liking having the remote to myself. And I'm kind of liking me. And, I was getting back my self-esteem and my worth and all those things. And I thought, if I don't find somebody soon, I'm going to stay single. Because, damn, I'm liking me. So I think my best life story is getting myself out of that space and reaching out and taking a chance, stepping outside my comfort zone, and that's how I met Anton. And my life would have been a lot less rich without him in it, even though I just berated him for derailing my psychic train of thought. But I explain why I do that. I'm what they call clairaudient, right? So I don't just feel things, I hear things. And when he speaks, when I'm trying to listen to spirit, that's when I get stinky. And that's why I said, you can be as flippant and jokey as you want, but let me finish my sentence. or this is not going to go well. But I think my best life experience has always been what my mom would say, pick yourself up by your bootstraps and get on with it, right? I mean, you could understand a lot more about me if you knew me. When I was 16, they thought I had lymphoma and that I was going to die. And I missed so much school that I couldn't catch up and graduate with my class. So instead I decided to get my GED. By the time I was 17, I had a full-time job and a car. And the people I was in school with still had another year of school. And I had my GED. So I had my GED, a full-time job, and a car at 17. But I did miss an awful lot those last 2 years of school, you know, as far as socialization and things like that. So there's a lot of times I think in our lives that we're very, very challenged. And we can choose to stay down there and circle the drain, or we can fight like hell to get back on top of things. And that's my best life story for you. All right. So Violet, you're up next with Violet, who says her and her husband know that...
I'm just loving some of the comments.
What? I love you too. If my next is not like yours, I don't want it. Well, there you go. All right. So...
Here we go now.
Oh, we want to have a little... I'm listening. All right. Don't waste your life because you think you're not good enough or whatever. Just get out there and do it.
No.
All right. Violet says her and her husband know that they have to move, but they're really not sure where. Any advice?
All right. I'm feeling this one. If it wants to release its grip on there. Well, now. How far do you want to go? I love this card. So the first thing, although you didn't ask this question, this is one of the 3 cards in the deck that have the 3 pyramids, and this to me indicates definite old soul wisdom here. So one of yours is an old soul, and I think what's necessary is to, at this point, maybe really listen to your innate wisdom. Listen to what your inner voices are telling you, for want of a better word, and don't feel you can't think unreasonably here, like totally outside of the box. All right, this card is very much unhampered thinking,
right?
Unfettered thinking.
Don't cross something off because it sounds outrageous. There's no limit here.
There is. I think you need to be very conscious to say, I think we're putting ridiculous glass ceilings on there, or you're going, oh, we can't do that, or we can't do this, or we can't do whatever, blah, 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 blah. I think you have got far greater and more plentiful options than you think you have right now. I think you're sitting fairly pretty. You just don't see it yet, you know. And I think if you allow that inner voice, maybe, you know, just really do some creative visualization, or just let your fantasy run riot, you know, and just picture yourself in the perfect environment. And I think bugger me if you won't get there, because I really think this is such a powerful card for really, you know, stepping beyond what you think is. It's about creating your own reality, if you will, I think.
And I don't know why, but the number 9 seems important.
Number 9.
Maybe that's a house number.
Could be.
All right. Ruth Ann General.
All right, it's your go. So guys, if you're watching this while Lisa's just shuffling through the cards and all that sort of stuff, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. That means a lot to us, it really does. If you fancy a more detailed reading, go ahead and throw us a super chat. It doesn't matter how much, it's irrelevant. It could be anything, $2, $200, whatever floats your boat, whatever you feel is cool. And Lisa and I will do you a more detailed reading. But other than that, we've got a ton of people to be working through, so I'll shut up. And
Ruth Ann General. Oh.
There you go. Oh, hello.
Well, this is really cool.
Does not suck.
Ruth Ann, I think this is going to be the year where you think you finally got somewhere. You know, a lot of times we kind of take those 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and we get frustrated. We think, I should have had so much more. I should have made so much more. All that kind of stuff. But I feel like there's some sort of thing happening for you that is a milestone or a stamp of approval or a license for something, a literal license. Like if you had said, I failed my nursing exam and now I've passed it and that's wonderful. Or I've been struggling to try to find the time to become a real estate agent. Now I have my license. There's some sort of big marker that's happening that it's like fulfilling a promise to yourself. And I think this is going to be a really, really good year for you.
Does not suck, that
All
card.
Right. So Haley is looking for a spot for her new business and some advice about her new business.
Do we know what business it is, or is she sharing it with it?
All right, so you're up.
Looking for it this year. Yeah, certainly. I think if I'm reading the question correctly, the last couple of years has not been good for your line of work. This is nice. Somebody sent us a super chat, I fancy. So thank you for that, whoever it is. We shall see it presently.
It's Liz.
So this is actually a really, really good card. I'm going to spend a little time on this, Haley, because I don't know why, but I feel you kind of need to hear this. This is both your passion and your pain. I understand that, because I'm just looking at the roses and the lilies. They smack me straight in the face, and I've learned over the years of doing this, what jumps out at me is important. So that just hit me, and they don't always do that. So this is something that's very near and dear to you, and it's your passion, your pain. So I really feel like we need to spend a tiny bit of time on this. Now, this is the Two of Wands. Now, ostensibly, this is very much a card about business, and particularly mercantile business, oddly enough. I mean, this person may be very much involved in global commerce. I mean, we've got the whole world in our hand, quite literally here. So we've got some fantastic ideas. We've got some really good ideas. And this may indicate that the place where your business should be may not necessarily be a place, but maybe you actually go to your client rather than have your client come to you. Maybe that's something. Think about it slightly differently for a moment.
Well, there's definitely something here about it being a little further afield than you expect.
Right.
Like you might have to expand your radius or something like that.
Yes, it could be a flying barber. Is there such a thing? I'm sorry, be flippant. No, joking.
Just in a mood tonight. I don't know.
I'm not. I'm fun. You know that. This ploughed field, just right here, and if you haven't got this deck, it's the Rider-Waite deck, but there's a ploughed field just here. I mean, we're up on the ramparts of a beautiful Italianate villa. It looks gorgeous, obviously well-to-do. But this ploughed field indicates as yet untapped potential. So there's a great potential for what it is you have to offer. There will be a demand for it. But we're still just a little bit up in the air yet. This one's all grounded down. This one's like, we're still in the throes of trying to bring it all together. But all in all, this is a really, really good card. But I understand it is your passion and your pain. But maybe dare to look at things in a slightly different way. You build a business, you build a reputation, people then come to you. How far will they travel? How far will they travel? Maybe you're concerned about, am I setting my business up too far away from my target marketplace? I know if you're damn good, people will travel far further than you think that they will travel, honestly. Because if you are as good as I think you are, then they would probably follow you to the ends of the earth. So don't get so worked up about, finding the absolute perfect location right on the doorstep of where you think you need to be. It could be somewhat further apart. It could be it could be, as I said, there may be some kind of fluidity. You might have to move a couple of times. But I think so long as you clearly communicate with your customer base, wherever you go, yeah, you have this wonderful word of mouth advantage. I think that really you will be successful. Okay, it is your passion and your pain. I understand that, and the last couple of years have been effing difficult, very difficult.
Well, also looks like she's given all her time and effort and energy to a sibling instead of her own self. So.
Well, there's your lesson.
I think that this is definitely a separating. And you don't want to be on her doorstep either, because then she'll be resentful. But I think you're going to find just the right place.
I think you are.
Yep.
I think you are. I think you're worthy.
Try to get the toxic crap off you. All right.
Liz
is next with a super chat, and then Balrain BS7. And Violet, yes, you can make a super chat and ask another question, and we'll each do the reading. All right.
Sure,
so
yeah.
Liz, I go first, but she's got a super chat reading. So.
All right. So you go first.
1.
I'll go second.
3.
And away we go.
What does the universe want to tell me? Well, I think the universe is saying that you are coming out of a challenge phase, right? So we see this card, the 8 of Swords. The person is all bound up and standing with their back to these icy cold swords. So they think that they are stuck. This person thinks they're surrounded because the blindfold is on and they can't see that there aren't any swords in front of them. They can only feel the pressure and stress of the swords at their back. But when you look really close, there's even like a little trickle of water trying to say, follow this, you know? So sometimes it's not about what we see, it's about what we feel. So you could continue to deal with the stress and the pressure and the coldness of what's behind you, or you could let it go and walk forward. Now, I think where you're at right now is kind of in a processing place. And I always tell people when I see this card, worrying is manifesting in reverse. So instead of focusing on the what ifs and oh my God, what about this and what about that, you have to turn that into intense planning, right? I've got a plan A, and if that doesn't work out, I've got a plan B, and if that doesn't go exactly, I've got a plan C. And I'm not talking about settling and saying, oh, I'll just go with C because it's easier. But I'm saying we have our ideal situation, and then we have the next thing that we could live with, and we have the next thing we could live with. And we start to work out all the details for that. So again, this is kind of a message of not being stuck in a place. So it's all about working out the details, making the plan, and being able to move forward with that plan. So the universe says, stop worrying, start planning.
I love that. So the first one was the 8 of Swords, followed by the 9 of Swords, followed by the Queen of Cups, right? In that order?
Yep, 8, 9, Queen.
8, 9, Queen. So yeah, perception is key for you. I think you're being asked to reevaluate how you perceive things. Now, understand our perception is our reality. If we perceive something to be a difficulty, it's a difficulty. If we perceive something to be a struggle, it's a struggle. You know, it's how we perceive it. If we perceive something to be an absolute walk in the park, it's a walk in the park. It's how we see things. It's all down to how you see things, said the spider to the fly.
Yep.
So if we look, as Lisa said on this card, ostensibly it doesn't look so good. We have a blindfold and bound woman surrounded by a prison of swords on a tidal flat with the tide out. And somebody's just super chatted it, so thank you so much for that. So yeah, on the face of it, does not look good. However, if you look really closely, I don't know if you can see, there are no knots in the binds that hold her. All right. So a simple shrug and they will fall free. Lift the blindfold and you see, curiously, those swords do not ensnare you at all. You are free to walk out of there. So you are actually, you've misperceived the situation. It is not what it appears to be. This misperception, unfortunately, has caused you to internalize the issue so much now that it's actually disturbing your sleep. Worry is, honestly, manifestation in reverse. We're looking at something and we're going, oh my God, and if this happens, then oh, and that, and this, and that, and then, and you're actually mapping a route to where you absolutely don't want to be. Okay, so you're actually putting intense planning, as Lisa would say, into working out how to get where you don't want to be. I know this sounds terribly flippant, doesn't it? But this is what you ask. What has the universe got for you to know here? Okay, change your perception. Realize that worrying is manifestation in reverse. And watch your emotional attachment to things, all right? It's been a bit brutal, this one, but get these in check. Get these sorted out. I think, and pardon me grabbing this crystal here, but there's this old adage, you know, you're like holding onto this rock and one day justice will be done, somebody will realise, and you're holding onto that hot rock expecting somebody else to be burned, you know? Whoa, don't work like that. So you've got to learn to forgive. I know it's difficult for you, but you have to learn to forgive. That doesn't mean forget. That doesn't mean take it all again. That doesn't mean lay yourself down to be a doormat and to be trampled on. That means forgive. Set yourself free from the lodestone that binds you to that previous negative experience. Failure to do so is hanging on to that hot rock, waiting for somebody else to be burned, because the other person is probably blissfully unaware that you're having a hard time with this. You know, they're utterly unconcerned, and it will make no difference to them whether you choose to let this situation go and chalk it down to experience. And that's the best thing you can possibly do, to learn from that experience and live your best life. Yeah, the best is yet for you to come, but you have to separate yourself from this inherently self-destructive thinking and perception that you have. I know it's tough, I know it's right between the eyes here, but do that, you will transform completely. All right?
All right, now so...
Please don't throw rocks at me.
Violet super chatted, so...
Yes, so she gets to go first.
She gets to go next, and we haven't forgot you about BS7. We'll get to you. You're after Violet unless somebody else
throws in a super chat.
All right, so
then you get beyond.
Violet's looking for a timeline for her business to start paying the bills. So she has her own business. Well, I assume Violet's a female, and it's growing fast, but she's not quite able to pay her bills yet.
I get that.
Well, sometimes we have trouble with that. Let me tell you.
Takes a little while.
All right, so.
Me first?
I think it's you first.
All right, okay. I'll go with that one. You. I'll go with that one. All right, so this would be our first card, which we got was... Oh, yeah, okay. We got the Five of Cups. Let me try and pull these together. I'm sorry, making a noise.
This is the second one.
The second one is the Nine of Pentacles. Oh,
and the outcome is the Fool.
Okay. Woosah. That's the first thing. Let's just grab them right now. Okay, that's all you got to do right now. I sense the anxiety, but Violet, chill. Coming here. Again, moving on from perception. Yeah, there's a lot of focus on oh God, you know, there's this expense, there's that broke, there's this, I had to do that, I had to, you know, I'm struggling to make ends meet. Focus on all this loss, and this is a very dejected person here. Yeah, what happens if you focused on that? You know, you just bring more bad crap to you. Understand you've got two perfectly usable goblets behind you. They're full, and these are not destroyed either. They can be just dusted off and refilled. It's no biggie. You know, it literally is water under the bridge. So also, but there's so much on this card that really jumps out. I am no feng shui master, let me assure you of that. Lisa will tell you. I know enough to be positively dangerous, and that's it. But a house on a hill with a river running past is a great omen. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. You've got that flow of energy and chi and abundant resources. And this also indicates it's not a house, it's a church. So this indicates a spiritual center as well. So let's go digging a little more here. Patience, my dear. I know this is going to be hard and you've got to stay the course, but note that little snail there. I don't know if you can see. I'll try and bring it right up front. Okay. But the little snail here at her feet is saying, chill, chill. It's going to take a time, but try and tell me that this card doesn't indicate other than an absolute financial independence. Honestly, financial independence. This person could be described as being a lady of leisure and could do whatever she chooses to do, she's a kestrel. She's, absolutely dripping in things. I think keep it classy is the important thing for you, because I'm seeing these little flowers they're very much like the glyph for Venus I'm seeing in there. So we've got this kind of abundance, but graceful and beautiful abundance. So keep it classy, don't stress, and realize that everything is going to be okay. The Fool, everybody's going, oh, look at you, you idiot, you're right on the edge of this cliff. You're going to plunge to your death. You're not watching what you're doing, you fool. Come away. Understand that this person has, they feel the warmth of the sun on their bones. They are enjoying life. They are a beacon of joy and unbridled happiness. They know that they are guaranteed either learning to fly or assured a soft landing. That their progression through their journey is certain. There is no doubt in the Fool's mind. That's where fools rush in, where angels fear to tread. Is negative mumbo jumbo speak to have you doubt your own abilities, to have you doubt your confidence, and doubt destroys people. So woosah on the doubt. Chill a little bit. Realize things take time. Don't be anxious, and just do your best. Keep it classy, and keep your focus on the positive outcome. And you're going to be more than fine. I promise you, more than fine.
All right. So my logical business head, and not my psychic head, wants to start by telling you the rule of thumb for new businesses to know if they're viable or not is 3 to 5 years, right? So you're saying, when will my business pay the bills? You've got to give it time, and we're in very unusual circumstances. Now, if it is a retail business, it's usually that you sell in a year what you have in stock value for a month. So if you said, I have $20,000 worth of stock, you could expect to make $20,000 that year, right? I know he says that's not the way it is, but if it's retail, that's the way it is.
Depends on stock turn, but I know what you're saying.
And yes, it's important that you keep track of what's best selling. There are so many factors now with social media and all this kind of thing. And I think that's what this card is about. This is about you worrying, what are the rules here, and how do I follow the rules, and how do I make the best of this, and what can I do to make it even better? And I'm going to say it's definitely the best idea to look forward and not back, but learn from any mistakes. If you think, oh, I shouldn't have invested in that, well, what did you learn from that investment, or investing in that person, or whatever it was? So take your lessons and apply them. Make the best of what you have. The second card here shows that you are going to be very successful. But I honestly think it's going to take you about 9 more months till you have a clearer picture, right? I think you have to get to the fall, to the holiday season, before you're really going to see the true turnover of what's going on. So when you say new business, I'm not sure how new that is, but I get the feeling that you're being a little hard on yourself. And I understand that you want to put everything into this business, but if you need to have a little side thing where you're actually working for the man to make sure that you can sustain the business, think of the business like a child. You know, you've got to feed it, clothe it, do everything for it, and sometimes you have to be the working mom. But I do see your business being sustainable. And this is also about using other life experience and things that you've done in the past, maybe for other people, and taking those tools and driving your business forward. So think about how you're going to get the word out, how you're going to grow your word of mouth, what kind of social media you're going to use, how much you're going to mark a product up, or what the true value of the product is, and what you could expect to make. And if the product is, you know, for instance, we were talking to somebody else who was a hairdresser. If you think, okay, in a 40-hour week, I would turn X amount of dollars, then you have to drive your business to turn that amount of money, and then you can see what your income would feasibly be, right? You got to fill those slots in order to make the money. So, we kind of have that sort of business too, because we have readers and then we have product.
You break it down to what we need to be moving an hour, literally.
Right, I do. I know what we have to sell per hour to pay the bills and make a profit. This is what it costs to keep the lights on,
yep. And we'll do that sort of stuff.
But I came from a very different place. I had a lot of retail experience, working for some major companies in pretty higher up positions. So I know a lot of the ins and outs of retail. And I was able to marry my two careers, so I'm very lucky about that I could marry my psychic readings to my retail expertise. But the biggest thing is don't give up, and never give up too soon.
There you go.
All right.
Never.
So now,
No.
Balran.
Hello. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, wants to know how does Rad feel about them? So Rad is only part of their name. I've got to go back to find it. It's BS7.
Yeah. I think so. Radhika. I got to get that.
Radhika.
Radhika.
Yep.
If I'm murdering the name.
How does Radhika feel towards
Balram? And I assume you're Balram.
Hi, delightful flower. What is your question?
Could you shuffle those? Because I feel a shuffle coming on, and I don't want to throw them to the floor.
Okay.
So, if you haven't, thank you for joining us, everybody. I see a whole bunch of people coming around. If you're just lurking, if you don't want to ask a question, that's fine too. But if you like what you see here, we'd love it if you'd hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't done it yet, please do it. It's helping us be less of a well-kept secret, and that's what we're trying to be. What does Radhika feel about Balram?
Oh dear. Scared.
She's horribly intimidated by you, I want to say, to be perfectly honest. Oh, gosh. Are you a fierce individual? This, I mean, I think she feels, I'm assuming she, and forgive me if I got, Oh.
There's a definite fear. Maybe
trepidation.
She's too young or something.
Yes. Awful young, yeah, maybe. And I think
innocent. There's something.
Yeah, there's a great deal of trepidation there. Now then, here's the gig. Dost thou love her? Do you love her? Do you love her to the point where you would lay down your life for her? I'm thinking Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves here, all right? Because if that's the case, you need to be able to communicate that in a non-threatening way. In other words, I will defend you. Oh, okay. I've got to jump into our own mythology here, and I appreciate that I suspect there's going to be like a cultural divide here, and I don't know how to put it into the mythology of your culture.
Belief system, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of when all that was left after the glamour was put on in the third branch of the Mabinogi, the way Kigva suddenly felt about Manawyddan. Yeah, she was like, you know, and he said, "I assure you." That I'm
not going to take your virtue.
I'm not going to, I'm not interested. I would defend you. I would honor you, and I support you. Now, obviously, their relationship was purely platonic, and this may not be the case. But I feel that we're dealing with a very young and quite fragile, impressionable person who is at this moment in time faced with a lot of trepidation. So you yeah. It's a
they don't dislike you.
No.
You interest them very much.
Yeah.
But it's like they have this
terrified
wall of
by
protection. This wall of protection because they are very, she's very innocent, very naive, very protective of, like, her virtue. I think you got to take it slow.
Yeah, very. And be the quintessential gentleman. Absolutely, if you know what that is, and I hope you do,
All right, so up next...
Gentle
man, yes. Up next, Delightful Flower would like to know Karen's feelings and intentions.
All right, then.
This is a lot of spiritual spying.
There's a lot of... I've noticed that.
But what I say by that is, we don't mind trying to help. We will
Surely.
absolutely pull a card and see what Spirit has to say about the question. But what we'd like people to understand is you're giving us permission to read you. So that's how we're doing it, through you. The person you're asking us about hasn't necessarily given their permission for us to read them. So in a way, it's like a spiritual spying. All right.
You're very welcome, Ballroom.
So, Delightful Flower.
This is your question, by the way. You are on the list, so
yes.
You timed it well.
Delightful Flower. How does Karen feel and what are their intentions? I think Karen has a lot of respect for you. And I think that they really admire your self-control and your ability to break things down and say, okay, this is not a monumental task. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to get there. So there's a lot of admiration, which is great, because if someone really respects you and you respect them, then a relationship can form from that. I'm a little concerned because I think you don't know everything about this person yet. And I think that they may pick strong characters because they are a very strong character. And they look for somebody who has great control. But I'm going to say you will not be able to control them.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Right? So I think they're very interested. I think there's a lot of respect. Respect is a great foundation for a relationship. If you can't respect someone, then you can't trust them. If you can't trust them, you can't love them. So all of those things are in line. But I think you're talking about two very, very strong, headstrong personalities. And if you agree, fantastic. And if you don't agree, that may be the difficulty. All right.
So I'm going to throw 2 cents in here. If this person is a Sagittarius, you will not fare well trying to control them, because this card, interestingly enough, although there's the classic relationship of this card is typically the moon. Both Lisa and I, in our personal readings, see this very much as representative of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, don't fence them in. Fence them in, Yeah, that ain't going to work out well.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're right up to the moment. So Martin has just joined.
Hello, Martin. Thank you for joining us. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe to our channel.
And Martin wants to know, is he destined to end up in jail like his father?
Well,
Man,
depends
that's heavy.
depends how many crimes you choose to commit.
Yeah, I guess so.
there is that. That small thing, stating the bloody obvious. Let's have a look. Mate, this is this is a
breaking a
bloody
cycle,
good
man.
card. All right, so listen, I think you're being a little harsh on yourself here. I think you have wonderful leadership abilities. You made a good stuff. Even the horses go, hey, look, I got on my back here, you know. So this is, I think there's a great cause. This is a card about being victorious. It is a card that indicates a victory. So I think you may be breaking the cycle here, and yeah, I think sometimes you may feel that you're going to get drug into things that are outside of your control. But I think there's a word I want to share with you, which is a Welsh word, which doesn't really translate into English, but we're going to give it the best go, and that is hoyl. Hoyl. H-W-Y-L. Hoyl. All right? And hoyl, it's you could just say goodbye to somebody, Hoylvauer, but what that's actually saying is, may you always have the presence of mind to know right from wrong. May you always have the wisdom to listen to your better angels and not your demons. May you always have the nobility of character to do what is right when it is required of you. May you journey well, and I bid you Hoyle, and I am sure that this card is indicative that it is within your ability to bring that about. And I know I was being flippant with saying, if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. But I think there's more to it than that.
Yeah, no, I think you're breaking a cycle.
Yeah, I think so. So Hoylvauer, remember, the knight never stands so tall except when he chooses to kneel to help a child. Remember that wonderful love and humility. Remember that with great strength comes great humility. And if you can blend those two together and always strive for your, keep pure your highest ideal, strive ever toward it, you will do well.
I saw this meme that really, really, like they say, a picture speaks 1,000 words. So there was like a grandfather with a cane, and he was yelling at the back of the next man, and he was saying, "You're so stupid." And then the next man in line was yelling at the back of a younger man saying, "You're worthless." And then that man who was being yelled at, there was like a wavy line behind him, behind those words of what had come before. And he was talking to a little boy, and he said, "I love you. Your painting is fantastic." And I think that you are that guy that's going to break that cycle.
It is. What you focus on comes into focus. Just be aware of that.
All right, so I'm up next with Sita, who wants to know anything we can tell her about a future husband. Oh. Well, this is a card of travel. So I don't think you're necessarily going to get the boy next door. I think you're probably going to be with someone who is either very well traveled, studied in many different areas, different cultures, or possibly someone who is from a different culture. European or Canadian or American, but not necessarily from the country you're from. All right.
I love that card. Yeah, I mean, even go so far as to say somebody who operates a mode of transportation for a living, possibly an airline pilot. Who the hell
maybe,
knows?
yeah, somebody will travel. All right. So Empress's question is yes or no question. Does Kay still see me as Bella? Yes or no?
That's an interesting and loaded question, isn't it? That's Yeah. Oh God, I'm getting one of them downloads. Yeah, it's difficult to compete with ghosts sometimes, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Let's have a look. Ooh, this one.
That's a yes.
This is, yes, kind of. There's a partnership here. There's definitely. This is a good card. Okay, let's be quite clear about this. It's a very good card, but it is if you can take the time to scroll back when we last. This card came up in somebody else's reading. I can't for the life of me remember now.
Tonight,
but it was
way back, yeah.
But way back.
Sarah's,
but
I
it's
think, or
but
Sparky's.
it's very much about maintaining independence in a partnership, maintaining your not being subsumed, not being assimilated. This is not the Borg. This isn't one separate one entity. This is two disparate entities. You can tell that looking in opposite directions, but they're choosing to be together, and that is a good thing. That is a good thing. That really works out well. So yeah, there you go. Bridges. Have I been bid bond? Keeps coming up all the time. Hope that helps.
All right. I think that's it for tonight.
You can call it quits at this point?
Well, we're done with all of our questions.
Oh my God, we've done a bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of peoples there.
Bella, a good thing. Well, Bella usually means beautiful.
It does. Bella is a good thing. So yeah, love it. What a nice bunch of people we had tonight.
Yeah, we had quite a big crew.
Absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
So guys, if you haven't already pushed, clicked, whatever the bleeding thing we do with the computer is nowadays, whatever device you're doing, activate that thumbs up button so as to indicate your delight at our presence here on the Tube of You, because it helps us be less of a well-known secret, or well-kept secret. Sorry, we want to be more well-known.
Yes,
we've got
tell all your friends.
Yep, we've got tarot talk coming up on Tuesdays. So if you want to know more about the tarot, if you're interested in some of the secrets, why we say the stuff that we say when we read the cards, you might want to join in for that. That's a whole boatload of good stuff there, which is yours for the grabbing. Just go to Tarot Talk, check that out. We have 11s every Monday morning, which is a live show, and you can participate in that. That's at 11 o'clock Eastern. On Mondays, on Wednesday evenings, we do this.
Right, so
and we
Monday,
have a whole series of other stuff.
Monday at
in
11
the can
we have lives,
coming out
Wednesday
regularly.
at 6 we have live, Tuesday we have Tarot Talk, and then you can always go and look at the series of things. What was the overall energy for this evening? I think a lot of people were asking about how to move forward. To me, there was that energy of people feeling worried or stuck. And how to move forward, I think, is the overall... we had a lot of people focused on work, but we also had a lot of people focused on finances. Both of those are Venus or heart chakra kinds of questions. So I think tonight was about that emotions of feeling... like they're blocked, or they want to move forward, and how do they move forward? And
cards, I think, that came up repeatedly.
Chariot, Control.
Chariot, the 9 of Pentacles came up.
The 4 of Wands.
The 4 of Wands came up repeatedly, and you said the Chariot, right?
The Chariot.
Yeah. So these are. It's very much about I guess learning.
And we had the minor
and
major arcana death cards. We had the 10 of Swords, and we
Right.
had the death cards.
And we
So again,
actually had
there's this energy of like trying to
Transition,
wipe the slate clean and
renewal.
start over. How do we move forward? How do we get past?
and getting back into relationship with
that-
things.
yeah, the
I think that's
stagnation.
kind of cool. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a healing. How do we heal this? And if you go back and watch 11sies from Monday, that might be really helpful to you, Martin, too, if you're still there. Go back and watch Monday's 11sies, because we talk about like how to cope and get over things. Like how do we deal with loss and grief? How do we deal with social anxiety? How do we deal with things? So that episode is, I think, pretty insightful for where we are right now, because we do have Mercury out of the shadow, so things are going to start to move again. And we have Sun, Neptune, and Jupiter all in Pisces. And Neptune and Jupiter are the ancient and modern ruler of Pisces. So there's a lot of energy for creativity and, figuring things out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so very, very much for joining us. We've been on for the better part of 2 hours, so
No, we're 10 minutes short of 2 hours, but we don't have any more questions. So
yeah,
good.
but I'm bleeding. Talk myself.
Well,
to
I know
death.
it's been a day.
It's been a day of constant communication and multiple Zoom meetings. I think
we're fried.
We've existed in the electronic biosphere today, big style. So we need just to chill and I've no idea what that is, but I assume it's spam. So what we do to spammers is just remove them. Where is that? I don't know.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a thing. We're going to remove that. Yes. So there you go. Yep. Thank you, Martin. Thank you for joining us. It's been wonderful fun to have you guys on this evening. We will bid you a wonderful, beautiful, peaceful evening. Be blessed. We've got a change in the weather coming.
Again.
60 something today and probably snow tomorrow. Tis the battle fully joined. All right, thank you so much, guys. If you haven't, liked, comment, and subscribed, please do. And we'll see you really soon. Be well, be blessed, and blessed be.
Peace, blessed be.